So this right here is the iPhone 13 Pro Max that I've been using for about 3 years now. Like this phone is the best iPhone I ever use. Like for me, in my opinion, this phone is the GOAT of iPhones. So the 13 Pro Max came out 2021, right, in September of 2021, and I've been using this phone for about now almost 3 years. So this phone is the best one I've ever owned. Like just the build quality of the phone, like it's top class. And like the phone has zero, ever since from day one I've been using the screen protector and the case, but this phone has had zero scratches and zero cracks, and this is the Sierra blue color, right? So like, yeah, like this one is the best one I've ever. This is, in my opinion, the GOAT of iPhones. So like the build, like it has a stainless steel build, like, but like the sides are very fingerprinty. So like the sides like are very susceptible to like fingerprint. The sides are a fingerprint magnet basically. So like yeah, the sides like are fingerprint is a fingerprint magnet, but like I've had like zero scratch. The only place I could say I have like a defect is like on the side. So when I first got the phone, I dropped the phone on its side, just like this, on like a ceramic floor, and then it has like this little bit of chip in there. But like other than that, like the phone is like perfect. And I'll show you why in a second. This phone is like still one of the best phone out there. The display, the phone came with 120 hertz back in 2021. The first iPhones to come with 120 hertz, the 13 Pro and the 13 Pro Max. And this phone also still has its mute and silent, not button, but rocker over here. Like you could literally just unmute and mute. But like, yeah, and the phone was like the last iPhones to come with a SIM card tray too. So like most people like want a SIM card tray, right? So like it makes it easier to switch back and forth between like, let's say a Samsung phone or an iPhone, right? But like, yeah, like, and the phone came with a USB-C too. I mean, not a a lightning port too, right? And like that is like, if I am to say a downside or something I wouldn't like, is the lightning port. I wish the phone had a USB-C port. Even at least the USB 2.0 speed port on the iPhone 15s and 16s. I wish it had just that, not even the ultra fast 10 gigabits per second USB-C, right? But like the phone, like the display, it has a 120 hertz Pro Motion display, right? Apple calls it Pro Motion, but like the display like goes from 10 hertz to 120 hertz. So like if you're just staring at an image, the display stays at 10 hertz. If you're scrolling, the display, depending on how fast you're scrolling, or like depending on like if you're scrolling, basically the display goes up to 120 hertz. So in that sense, like that was a plus. And like at the time, like the ability for it to go down to to 10 hertz and up to 120 hertz, because like at the time Android phones were not doing that or something, but like that made the 13 Pro Max battery be the best, literally the best battery in any iPhone ever, until the 16 Pro Max came. So like at the time, like everyone was talking positive about how good the battery was, right? And then yeah, like zero complaint about battery. Like you would never hear anything negative about the battery of the 13 Pro Max. And the cameras were also top class too, right? The cameras, it all came with 12 megapixel cameras, and then you have the LiDAR, right? But it also could do HDR, right? You could like record in HDR, just like I think I'm recording right now. And yeah, this was the second phone to support HDR recording, and it also came with cinematic mode too, right, for the camera. So like that was like the standout camera feature you got on the 13 Pro series, right? And for the, yeah, like it also got 5G, right? You had 5G on the phone, right? And at the time, the phone came with iOS 15. And right now, it does support up to iOS 18. But you're gonna get like more years of software update from Apple. Because like Apple, they always support their phones for like minimum 5 years. If you're lucky, maybe 6 years. Just like the iPhone XR, right? Like the iPhone XR came with iOS 12. And right now, it supports iOS 18. That is literally 6 years of software update. Well, this iPhone 13 right now supports iOS 18 and will probably support, because it came with 15, right? So it will probably support up to minimum iOS 20. If you're lucky, maybe iOS 21. So like minimum 2 years left for like software updates. Well, yeah, like the display it came with ProMotion 120 hertz refresh rate. So like that was cool, right? And like for the battery of the phone, like right now I have been using the phone for more almost 3 years now, and like this one is the best one I've ever used. Like the battery, right now I already have a battery replacement. I got a battery replacement directly from Apple, so like the phone literally feels like new. But before I got a battery replacement, the battery was at 79%, and at the time, even though like the battery wasn't at 100%, the battery was still like good, still better than like most Android phones or most even iPhones today, right? At 79%. But then I decided to get a battery replacement, and right now I'm sitting at 100%. And even before that, like I noticed, because I've been running the iOS 18 beta right from day one, but like even without that, when we got like stable like versions of the beta, like the phone was like not performing optimally, like it wasn't performing the best. But like that was all down to the battery degradation, right? And then I decided to get a new battery and not get a new phone basically, right? So yeah, I got a battery replacement, and now the battery is sitting at 100%. And right now the performance of the phone is like just like it was in iOS 15. The battery is good, not as good as it was on iOS 15, but the battery is good, right? And the performance is just it's like I got a brand new 13 Pro Max in 2024 and downloaded iOS 18. So we go down to battery, and then you have battery health and charging. So you see 100%, like yeah. And this is the 512 gigabyte version, right? So yeah, the phone is the best phone ever. Like for battery wise, like zero comp, like the phone. So for the iPhone 12, like most people were complaining about battery, and like because they added 5G, and 5G like was just like sipping through the battery like a juice. And then like yeah, the 13 like fixed the battery problems, and like every year that Apple has fixed the battery performance or battery life on an iPhone, that iPhone has been called the best iPhone ever or something, like the best iPhone, right? Just like the 11s, right? The 11s got a battery upgrade. The iPhone 11 base model got an hour more than the iPhone XR 10R, and the 11 Pro got like 5 hours or 4 hours more than the XS, and the 11 Pro Max got like 5 hours more than the XS Max, right? So like the 11 series was like known to be a great iPhones, and the 13 series was known to also be a great iPhones. So like every year that Apple has improved the battery, right, the phones were like called like the greatest iPhone. But like right now, like everything's so fine, right? Like everything's smooth. Like I have no complaint. If we go to like scroll, like pro motion, like everything, like it feels like I'm using the 16 Pro Max, right? It feels like I'm using the 16 Pro Max. So like, yeah, like I have no complaints. And like, yeah, like the speakers are also good. Like the speakers are very loud. And like, what else am I missing? Like the cameras are good. Like the only downside I have to the phone is the lack of USB-C. And maybe always on display, but I could skip always on this. Just like if the phone had USB-C, it would be the perfect phone. Like so, yeah, like, yeah, like the prefer like gaming on this phone is no problem, except from like if you're gaming and playing Warzone mobile, then you might have like a performance decrease because like Warzone is not properly optimized for like the 13 Pro Max A15 Bionic. So yeah, like everything performs well. Like everything works fine. So like you're not gonna have a like if like the third like if none of the AI features like sways you towards getting a new iPhone, like, and you already own a 13 Pro Max or even a 13 phone, right? Like I would say like the 13 series, the iPhone 13 series were literally like the best. They're like the best iPhones. So like I would say like keep your iPhone. Like you're not gonna have any problem, like, right? Like the Apple Intelligence feature, they're not even out. Like Apple's like 2 years behind literally. So you're not gonna miss anything except for if you want like dynamic island, but like for the most part like the phones are the same. So like if you own or let's say a 13 series or even a 14 series, let's say a 14 Pro Max or 14 Pro or 13 Pro, 13 Pro Max, and like you feel like your phone is slowing down, because your phone do slow down after like many years of use, right? If you feel like your phone is slowing down, just get a battery replacement or get a new battery, get your battery like replaced, and then like after that like you're going to notice like significant battery jump and just like the all-round performance of the phone. Like the phone is going to feel like a brand new phone. The phone is going to feel just as new as when you got it the last time you got it, right? Like I have no complaint about this phone. Like this phone is literally the best iPhone I've ever owned. And right now, like the new iPhone 16 is not even swaying me to get or like to keep or something, right? So like yeah, because like the only difference, like software wise they're the same, but like the only difference, if you want to call it that, like if the only thing differentiating the 15 series and literally every iPhone from the iPhone 15 base model to older, not including the 15 Pros, right? The only thing differentiating them is the Apple Intelligence AI, right? And it's not even fully out right now. So it's gonna be out in a couple of weeks, but like right now it's not out. So just get a battery replacement and then like you're good to go. Like you have nothing, you're not missing out on anything. Literally not. Like because right now my 13 Pro Max feels the same as my 16 Pro. Like I am not seeing any differences in performance. So they all feel the same to me. So yeah, like but like in like a couple of months now, they're gonna start releasing Apple Intelligence features. So to like make you upgrade. But if you don't care about Apple Intelligence, then just like keep your old, just get a brand new battery. My battery was at 79% and I got a battery replacement, and right now my phone feels just as new as when I got it the first time. And I have no performance complaint or anything. So like yeah.